in between elections, how do you interact with constituents and how do constituents interact with you? Because one thing that I have as sort of just a prior belief is that most people only interact with politics and the government by voting and maybe by calling the sewer department when there's a problem. So in between elections, how do you interact with constituents and vice versa?
So I think that's a good question. So I would correlate things, I don't know, like put them in levels, right? Like, so like 22,000 people vote in a municipal election, right? 15,000 of them you never see after election day again, right? Like they really don't like talk to city council. They don't care what's going on in city hall, or like they trust you to like, yeah, they voted, they did their thing. Like now you go and do your thing. Like,
yeah. And if they don't
they have
like it, they'll vote against you. And,
yeah. Exactly, yeah. And I think that's perfectly fine. And those people, like, you do like a little campaign events from time to time. Like I go door knocking just to say hi, or like show up to block parties and like neighborhood events and stuff like that. And so maybe they'll see you around just to like kind of get a sense of who you are. But besides that, like, you don't really interact with them, and I think that's mutually beneficial in that like 22,000 people is a lot of people to interact with, but also like they don't really want to see you. Like they kind of like feel like they did their job. Within the next 7,000, you might have like 5,000 people who like how do I put this? 5,000 people who like kind of pay attention, right? So like they kind of know what's going on vaguely. They like read the newspaper. Maybe they're subscribed to a newsletter. Maybe they're part of like a neighborhood group, or like they like just like talk to you when they see you around in the neighborhood. And like I think that those are people who are like lightly interested, and like they will also stay out of politics unless there's something that like very deeply like touches them. Like that's like a very hot button issue. But like for most elections, most of the time, like they don't really have a hot button issue. But they do pay attention. And I think that those people end up being like the group leaders for like the other 15,000, where like most of those 15,000, like they have issues that might not be okay, but they usually go to like one of the people who really pay attention as like to kind of give them their first level of advice and then mix that with their own information. And then you have 2,000 people maybe who are like super involved, who will like write to city council and like comment on all the stuff and show up to city council meetings and like really like pay attention, follow you on Twitter and all those sorts of stuff. And those people end up being the people who you most interact with in terms of like writing policy, getting support, getting people to show up to protest or like rallies or other sorts of stuff.